It's never too late to start over. If you're going in a direction that is not pleasing to you, never be afraid to change. Hi there, I'm Adrian Atkinson. As you journey with us on Jamaica Magazine today, we look at protecting our children on the road and guide you through the ins and outs of motor vehicle insurance. Stay tuned.
Violence against women and girls is a human problem, not just a woman's problem. It's a problem for men too. Gender violence takes many forms, including sexual assault, domestic violence, relationship abuse, sexual harassment, and sexual abuse of children. The magnitude of ongoing violence against women and children in our country is cause for alarm. We can end the violence. It requires all of us to end the violence. I call on all our men and women in Jamaica to take a stand. And men, especially, must get involved in this movement to create a better world for their daughters, their mothers, their sisters, their aunts, their uncles, their fathers, their sons, and for themselves. Let's protect and reassure. Let's unite to end gender violence.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, January 11. The Ministries of National Security, Health, Economic Growth and Job Creation, as well as Transport and Mining, have received increases to their budgetary allocations. The figures were revealed when Finance Minister Audley Shaw tabled the first supplementary estimates for the 2016-2017 financial year in Parliament Tuesday. The supplementary estimates shows that there has been a $12.8 billion increase in budget allocations, moving from $579.93 billion to $592.74 billion. The recurrent or housekeeping expenses increased from $459.37 billion to $463.52 billion. Capital or development spending also increased from $120.56 billion to $129.2 billion. The Houses of Parliament will begin debating the estimates on January 17 after the Public Administration and Appropriations Committee of Parliament reviews the document today. The passage of the Building Bill is expected to regulate the construction industry and deal with illegal expansion of infrastructure. So says Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development, Denzel Thorpe. Mr. Thorpe says the bill, which was retabled in Parliament Tuesday, will also improve the country's level of earthquake preparedness.
It addresses, among other things, the processes by which persons who say they are builders have to be officially certified and registered. It establishes the National Building Code and identifies the Bureau of Standards Jamaica as the agency that will establish the acceptable standards, including international standards, for construction works.
Mr. Thorpe was speaking on Monday at the launch of Earthquake Awareness Month by the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management. In other news, the state will be providing assistance to the child and family who are involved in allegations of sexual abuse by a local pastor. State Minister in the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, Floyd Green, says the Child Development Agency, CDA, has begun its intervention.
Our CDA officers have gone in and have done a home assessment, and the children have been removed for safekeeping. The 15-year-old and the 13-year-old child, one being the victim. And we have already started counseling, because we always think about how can we try to get our children back on a road where they can have a productive life, and they can minimize the impact of the incident.
In addition to the state providing parental support, Minister Green says Food for the Poor has been contacted to provide home-related assistance as the family dwelling is in poor condition. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says the Jamaica Moves program will be launched soon. The initiative is aimed at getting citizens to a consistent level of physical activity.
We intend to launch that in another month or so. And the Jamaica Moves program and the brand that we hope to develop over time is about trying to change behavior. Getting the country to appreciate that your health status is directly linked to how you treat with yourself.
Part of that, Dr. Tufton says, involves greater personal responsibility in practicing more preventative and less curative measures to safeguard health. He reasoned that 70% of deaths by communicable and non-communicable diseases in Jamaica are caused by lifestyle choices. Dr. Tufton was speaking at Tuesday's launch of the Sagicor Sigma Corporate Run. The February 19 event is hoping to raise $60 million to aid 3 institutions caring for the nation's children. They are the Bethlehem Home and the pediatric units of the Mandeville Regional and Spanish Town hospitals. And finally, Jamaica's collaboration with Israel is to be expanded with Prime Minister Andrew Holness's 3-day working visit to that country. Mr. Holness's discussions with his Israeli counterpart will center around cooperation on growth and development in areas such as security, agriculture, water resource management, and diasporal bonds. The Prime Minister's visit is as a result of an invitation issued several months ago. It forms part of his ongoing commitment to seek opportunities for Jamaica through deepened bilateral relations with various countries. Mr. Holness is accompanied by representatives from the National Water Commission, Water Resources Authority, the National Security Council, and the Economic Growth Council. Minister Horace Chang will be in charge of the government until the Prime Minister returns on January 15. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
A healthy and educated people living in a clean, natural environment, reducing crime, improving the justice system and governance, building a prosperous economy. It's not just a vision, it's reality. Learn about the plan. Join the vision.
My country, Jamaica, has a rich heritage and is very unique. If we all pull together, we can make it the place of choice to live, work, raise family, and to do business.
For more information on Vision 2030, call the Planning Institute of Jamaica or visit vision2030.gov.jm, your parish library, school library, or the Jamaica Information Service.
In 2016, the Ministry of Finance and Public Service continued to set Jamaica's economy on a path to prosperity. After receiving the 2015 Latin American Bond Deal of the Year award from the International Financing Review in February 2016, Dr. Peter Phillips seamlessly passed the baton to the new government's Finance Minister Audley Shaw in March. 2 new state ministers, Favour Williams and Rudyard Spencer, were also assigned to the ministry. Record-breaking news topped the agenda for the rest of the year.
Between July and September, the economy grew by 2.3%. The last time that this economy grew in one single quarter by above 2.3% was in 2002.
And the good news continued. The net international reserves at the end of November stood at over $2.5 billion. Inflation also remained in single digits, recorded at 1.9% as at September. To top it all off, the country passed all IMF tests in 2016. It's no wonder the multilateral agency approved a new agreement with Jamaica in November.
I'm very pleased to announce that we have reached a staff-level agreement on a new economic program with the IMF that would be supported by a 3-year IMF standby agreement with potential support equivalent to US $1.7 billion.
Government announced that the new IMF agreement would be monitored by the Economic Program Oversight Committee, EPOC, co-chaired by Bank of Jamaica Governor Brian Winter. JMMB's Keith Duncan, who was selected as the second co-chair in November, promised to continue the good work of his predecessor, Sagicor's Richard Biles. In addition to EPOC, the Economic Growth Council and the Public Sector Transformation Committee, PSTOC, both established in 2016, would also monitor aspects of the IMF standby agreement. Setting Jamaica for prosperity not only involved growing the economy and cementing a new deal with the IMF, it also meant increasing the spending power of Jamaicans. Remember this?
We are raising the personal income tax threshold to $1.5 million across the board for everyone.
And so in July, under Phase 1 of the plan, the income tax threshold was almost doubled, moving to a little over $1 million. 5 revenue measures were announced to fund Phase 1 of the plan, beginning the shift from direct to indirect taxation, thereby including more persons in the tax net. And as part of the tax reform changes, Tax Administration Jamaica rolled out Phase 3 of its Revenue Administration Information System so more services could be done online. The Prosperity Agenda also included a plan to address matters relating to the sliding Jamaican dollar. A stakeholder group was set up in November to work with the Bank of Jamaica to examine the issue. Also on the matter of banks, regulations were approved in November to allow some banking business to be done through agents authorized by a supervisory authority.
We encourage the commercial banks to take every opportunity, Mr. Speaker, to proceed to scope out the whole island for their agent banking services so that we can provide more services and create greater financial inclusion to our citizens.
The Bank of Jamaica also approved licenses for 3 new commercial banks, including Jamaica National and Jamaica Money Market Brokers. Businesses were equally a part of government's prosperity agenda in 2016. So when a tax-free benefit expired in March, the finance minister intervened, allowing companies listed on the junior market of the Jamaica Stock Exchange to continue being exempt from corporate income tax. The implementation of a $1 billion Economic Partnership Agreement (EPA) project also positioned businesses to become more compliant in agriculture and agribusiness exports. It was funded by the European Union and implemented by the Planning Institute of Jamaica (PIOJ). Dr. Wayne Henry took over the leadership of the PIOJ in July from Dr. Colin Bullock. Also in July, firms and individuals had greater access to financing through a $100 million loan from the Inter-American Development Bank, the IDB.
Representing a policy-based loan approved by the IDB board on the basis of Jamaica having successfully completed a number of actions geared towards effecting reform of the country's financial sector.
The IDB also partnered with the Development Bank of Jamaica in February to fund a $420 million technical cooperation agreement to further develop Jamaica's venture capital industry. The Prosperity Agenda also included the public sector. Plans were announced for a $130 million pre-investment evaluation fund to improve the effectiveness and efficiency of the public sector investment program.
To support key pre-investment actions such as feasibility assessments, process reviews, cost-benefit analysis, socio-economic and environmental assessment, and other technical studies.
On the issue of divestment, Cayman Astrac Limited was turned over to Supreme Ventures and the Kingston Container Terminal to Kingston Freeport Limited. In terms of mergers, legislation was tabled in Parliament for 3 gaming entities to form the Jamaica Gaming Commission.
This body will be the main advisory body to the government on gaming and will be given the resources and powers to regulate the industry.
Jamaica Customs also announced in April that it was working to get new scanning equipment called a fixed portal to facilitate a more hands-off approach to the inspection of cargo. 2 small boats to increase surveillance at the ports were also commissioned into service in August. Government also wrapped up wage discussions with outstanding public sector groups in 2016. Pharmacists, nurse practitioners, and medical consultants formally accepted the 7% wage offer for the 2015-2017 contract period.
Indeed, sometimes we would love to give more. But now more than ever, when you're under the dictates of the IMF, you really can't give more.
A fringe benefits agreement was also signed with the Jamaica Civil Service Association. The government of Jamaica, through the Ministry of Finance and Public Service, completing tangible projects in 2016, setting the Jamaican economy for prosperity in 2017 and beyond.
Each time you're not paying full attention to the road environment, the greater your chances of getting in a crash like that. Plan routes to avoid focusing on GPS systems. Prevent children from roaming in motor vehicles. Turn down the volume of car stereo systems. Pull off the roadway if you have to use mobile devices. Do not read, watch television, or eat while driving. Avoid multitasking and keep conversations with other passengers to a minimum. Whether you walk, ride, or drive, avoid potentially fatal distractions.
Children are among the most vulnerable road users. Unlike adults who are responsible for their own safety when using the road, children often need someone to guide and protect them. Here's how you can look out for all children on the road.
Life in any form is a gift too precious to measure. The birth of brand new possibilities and exciting potential for whatever. For those at the early stages of this journey, it is expected that the ones who are older, those in positions of guardianship, will take the steps necessary to ensure their safety in all areas, not least of all as they travel from one destination to another.
I think every single adult who is a driver has a tremendous responsibility, not only for the safety of children, but the safety of other drivers, pedestrians. Driving comes with a tremendous responsibility, and it's up to you to remain alert, particularly when it comes to children. We are their guardians.
Children are among our most vulnerable road users. It's why the Ministry of Transport and Works, and particularly the Road Safety Unit, has spent time coming up with measures to ensure that the traffic environment for them is as safe as possible.
The law comes down very heavily on the side of children when we act irresponsibly, and as a result they are injured.
Laws like the Road Traffic Act, the Child Care and Protection Act, and the Protective Devices legislation speak to the issue in some way.
I'm just gonna... I want drivers to stop when I am at the pedestrian crossing.
Drivers who ignore the prompting of a traffic warden to stop before reaching the place where children are crossing or seeking to cross, or who put the vehicle in motion before the children have completely crossed the road, commit an offense under the Road Traffic Act.
Did you know that the Road Traffic Act makes it an offense for you to transport a child in your vehicle without the proper restraints? Breaching this law could place you before a resident magistrate facing a fine upon conviction.
Daddy, you remember I don't put on my seatbelt yet?
Oh yes. Sorry about that, I'm kind of distracted here. Ready?
Daddy, want to your seatbelt?
Oh, thanks for reminding me.
A child should never be moving in a moving vehicle. They should be completely still. They should be seated because the car can come to a sudden stop and they will get hurt. If the child is under 5 years of age, then they need to be in their car seat or booster. If the child is a little bigger than a car seat, then there are boosters provided that the children should occupy. You should ensure that the car safe lock is on, that the windows are turned up, or at least even if the windows have to be down, that the children are not exposing their hands, their heads, any parts of their body outside of the car, because that is extremely dangerous. You have to be focused fully on the road, both eyes fully engaged ahead of you. There are times when you might feel sleepy because you're on a long journey. You have not rested well the previous night. there are things that you can do. You make use of rest stops. If you start feeling a little drowsy, you get out of the car, stop the car, get out of the car, and get some fresh air that usually wakes you up. And make sure that you're properly hydrated, and Lucozade can help you to be.
I'm Alison Watson, and this has been another in our Road Scholars series, making smart road users of us all.
If you're driving a car, then you know it must be insured. But do you know which type of auto insurance works best for you, or how you can keep your premium down? Pay attention to our next feature.
Tires began to screech. A cacophony of horns could be heard howling some sort of warning. They were followed by a tirade of abuse and high-pitched rambling from drivers. Then, deafening silence. It was the unexpected, another motor vehicle accident that could transform lives into a huge tangled mess of despair. Luckily, there was a safety net: auto insurance.
Auto insurance is used to protect motorists against each other, as well as to protect themselves for damage to their vehicles or to their passengers.
And apart from the protection it provides, Paragraph 4, Section 1 of the Motor Vehicles Insurance Third-Party Risks Act states that it is illegal for any person to use a motor vehicle on the road unless a policy of insurance is in place. This will ensure that if a traffic accident occurs, the victims, motorists, pedestrians, and passengers have some form of compensation for their loss. There are three main types of insurance policies for motor vehicles.
There's third party only, which is the one that's required by law, and that's the one that covers the other guy. It covers your passengers and it covers everybody else on the road. Your vehicle is not covered and you, the driver, are not covered.
Third-party theft and fire offers added protection, ensuring that motorists are compensated if their vehicles are stolen or destroyed by fire.
And then you have comprehensive, which is everything rolled into one. So you're getting fire coverage for your vehicle, theft coverage for your vehicle, and collision coverage for your vehicle, as well as a protection against you accidentally hitting somebody else on the road.
Based on the type of insurance policy, a number of factors may determine one's premium, the sum of money paid out to the insurance company. Factors include the age and the type of vehicle, the age of the policyholder and the driver of the vehicle, or the claims history of the driver.
Somebody with a list of accidents behind their name is going to have a higher premium than somebody without one. So, as I said before, it's a case-by-case situation, and even though there's a general guideline that most insurers will follow in each insurance company, everybody is assessed individually.
The lesson in context: drive carefully. Now, there are other things you can do to lower the cost of your auto insurance. Shop around, compare premiums and benefits offered by insurance companies. Practice defensive driving, drive for yourself and others, and if possible, restrict the number of persons allowed to drive your vehicle. If you live alone, you can consider allowing yourself and a close family member or friend to drive your vehicle. Restriction will attract a lower premium as opposed to an open policy where anyone with your permission can drive the motor vehicle. Another thing you can do to lower your auto insurance is to suspend your policy if you will be off the island for an extended period of time. That's if no one else will be allowed to drive the vehicle. Discuss this with your insurance company, as there is usually some monetary benefit to this type of policy suspension. Installing a tracking device may also reduce your motor vehicle insurance premiums, but do the math. Ensure the tracking device bill isn't more expensive than the money you would save on the premium. You can also negotiate your deductible or excess to lower the insurance premium. A deductible is the amount of money a policyholder pays when there is an accident.
We have it there to avoid the minor fender benders. It would be uneconomical and administratively burdensome to deal with every single ding and dent at an insurance company. Also, we want the policyholder to have a stake in their vehicle.
So if a car values $2 million and the excess is 5% of the value of the vehicle, once the policyholder makes a claim on the insurance policy, he or she would have to contribute $100,000 towards the cost of repairing the vehicle. The excess is, however, refundable if another driver was at fault in the accident and your insurance company was able to settle with that driver's insurance company. To leave financial breathing room, one can also opt to pay their insurance premiums in parts, for example, twice a year. You may end up paying a little more, but at least your savings will not be severely depleted. Note, however, that if there is an accident, you may be required to pay off the premium upfront before you can claim on your policy. Now that we know some of the things we can do to lower the cost of auto insurance, let's turn our attention to what happens if there is an accident.
Take as many pictures as you can if possible on the scene of the accident. 2, get all the information for the other party as much as you can. That's name, who was driving, who owns the vehicle, again that's not always the same person, the type of vehicle, and any insurance details that you can get. Try and find a witness. Far too often we don't have enough claims where we have a witness statement, an independent witness. A passenger in your car doesn't count as an independent witness, especially when it's your husband or wife or brother or sister. Then go to the police and report it, and then you must report it to your insurance company.
So why does one's premium go up after an accident? Put it this way, experts say insurance is a pool of funds to which everybody has to contribute. If money from the pool has to be paid out, then the pool has to be readjusted to maintain its balance so that it can adequately compensate all contributors who may suffer a loss.
When you're in an accident and it's going to cost $1 million because somebody's injured and you have to fix the other guy's car, and your premium goes up by $10,000 or $20,000, you're still in the green $980,000. So don't look at it too much as a penalty of your premium going up, but of your contribution to the pool maintaining balance.
So auto insurance is there to compensate victims of traffic accidents. Drive carefully on the roads. Determine the best insurance policy, one that provides adequate coverage while attracting a reasonable premium.
Today we want to remind our motorists, especially the operators of heavy vehicles, trucks, trailers, buses, about the safety features along the highway. As you go along the steep slopes, there is going to be what we call rumble strips, which are strips along the road, which cause the truck or the car to vibrate. Reminding the motorists that you're on a slope and you should be in low gear. You should have checked your brake. If you haven't checked your brake, check your brake. As you traverse down the hill, if you recognize at any point in time that there's a problem, the truck is going too fast, your brakes are not working, or there is some other mechanical problem with the truck, then there are a number of what we call escape ramps, which are areas where the truck can get off the highway. And again, you're going to see signs advising you where these escape ramps are and how far it is to the escape ramp, whether 1 kilometer, half a kilometer, 300 meters, which will allow you to get off of the road onto the escape ramp into a gravel bed, which will bring the truck to a complete stop without injury to life or property.
We've come to the end of our show. You may watch this and other editions of Jamaica Magazine on our YouTube channel. You can also download the JIS app at the Google Play Store. Keep up to date with us on social media. Plus, visit our website and follow us on Twitter. I am Adrian Atkinson. On behalf of the entire production team, do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.